Hey, and we are live. I know it's been a while, everybody, but I'm excited to get back to doing these LinkedIn Lives. And this time I've got two fantastic, soon-to-be repeat guests, Lucy Robinson and Amber Flores. Before I turn it over and get them to introduce themselves to our network, if you're viewing, I'd love to hear either where you're viewing from, or if you're a job seeker, what are you looking for? You know, those comments will help us engage with you a little bit better. So just drop that in the comments if you're doing it. All right. Well, as we move on with that, I guess we'll start off. Typically every Tuesday at 2 p.m., Lucy and the team does a LinkedIn Live on the HireMilitary platform. Is that correct, Lucy?
That is correct, every Tuesday. And we normally come to you with all of the new SkillBridge opportunities, our new permanent vacancies, as well as answering the audience's questions and sharing some top tips and information. But we're doing something a bit different here today, Mike, aren't we?
Yep. So the goal is going to be, we're also going to do it on Thursdays, but with a little bit of my flair, I guess. Nothing's just kind of easy and orchestrated. I want to really focus on answering some of the hard questions, get you to know the team. My network is a little different than the HireMilitary network, and then also continue to focus on those opportunities I'm sharing every Thursday morning on our hot jobs. So thank you, Lucy. I guess, Amber, why don't we start off with you? Could you just tell my network a little bit about you?
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, thanks for having me today also. Certainly appreciate it. My name is Amber Flores. I am on the recruiting team here at HireMilitary. I'm an Air Force veteran, military spouse now, and we are in San Antonio as my husband finishes up his Air Force time. So it's pretty exciting. We have so many viewers. I'm really, really excited. People tuning in from everywhere. So thank you so much for everybody tuning in today.
And what are you focusing on primarily in your role, Amber?
Yes, great question. So we currently we have some really exciting things coming down, right? We just recently have started working with a new company that is based out of St. Louis, and some of the roles that they've shared with us are really exciting for us because they really want to grow their military spouse demographic, which is great, but they also are open to transitioning service members. We always love sharing the spouse opportunities though.
Awesome. And I think that's a great point. As I segue over to Lucy, I think most people in my network know us for our SkillBridge piece, right? That's how we started HireMilitary, focused on SkillBridge, and we're still doing hundreds of those a year. But where we transitioned last year was into the larger community, which is direct placement of veterans and military spouses into incredible companies. So can you talk us through that a little bit, Lucy, as well as, you know, what companies are looking for? Why do they come to us?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mike, can you believe it was nearly a year ago that I started here at HireMilitary? It was last May. And you brought me on board to basically, and I'm sorry, everybody, I'm in Alaska. They are breaking up the whole of the ice outside of me right now because we've got about 5 inches on the street. So you can probably hear that. But you brought me in to get this going, get this, not necessarily move away from the SkillBridge opportunities, but to include the whole of our military population in terms of the service that we can provide. And so what we tend to do, or what we want to do here in the talent acquisition team, is work with companies across the US who really want to increase their DEI in terms of military presence in their companies. They don't have an amazing vets landing page like Amazon or Lowe's or Home Depot. People transitioning or spouses or veterans wouldn't go, oh, yes, I'm going to think of X and go and look at their careers page because I know that they revere and they really support military talent. And that's our job, to connect those companies that really want to increase their military population and bring the transitioning service members, the vets and the spouses to them. So we do that introduction and we make that presentation. And because it's been nearly a year, we've learned so much in doing it. And I guess right now where Amber and I and Kate and the rest of the team stand is we say no to clients and positions now as much as we say yes to them, because we genuinely want to present our cohort the people that we work with in this military space with meaningful employment, not just, hey, here's a job, are you interested? It needs to check 5 or 6 boxes. And one of those really is great benefits, a great culture, well, 3, great benefits, great culture, and a good salary or remuneration package. And that's a work in progress. But most recently, we have been taking all of the comments from our LinkedIn Lives, just like this, and utilizing that information as feedback to really springboard our strategy moving forward. And recently, we've had so many comments about, what about the healthcare industry? You don't have any roles in nursing. You don't have any for the healthcare administrators of us who are coming out. You don't have anything for us. Well, we've gone ahead and we found companies to work with who really want our talent. Equally, we've been looking at the locations that people are living in, places where they retire. And, there's an average, we've been profiling it, 6 or 7 places. St. Louis, and I saw Leonor is watching from St. Louis as well, but St. Louis is one of them. So we've gone out and we found positions in St. Louis that we're going to talk to you about today. So we really are taking all of the information, the feedback, constructive and positive, from our military population, mainly here on LinkedIn, and we are really working with that information. And it's great.
And I think that's fantastic, Lucy. A couple points I want to add on to that is, I've been out for 4.5 years now, and every day I get introduced to a company that I never heard of. Yeah. And some of them are billion-dollar companies, and they could have 500 employees or they could have, 150,000 employees. I still never heard of them, and they're still incredible companies that want to hire veterans or military spouses, and they just don't have the same reach within this military bubble where we all exist when we serve. Yeah. And so one of the things I like to recommend to people is, if you look and you don't see something you like, understand that we're adding new companies almost, every day. Yeah. I think we've got like 60 companies doing contracts right now to start. And what I would encourage people to do is to register, just join our talent network, and let our recruiters pair you with something you might have never considered. The other thing I'd like to say is that last year, 97% of our DoD SkillBridge interns got a job offer at the conclusion of their internship. And if you are really paying attention to SkillBridge, you'll understand that is an exceptionally high number. And the reason goes back to exactly what Lucy said. We are pairing with companies that are interested in hiring transitioning service members. When we talk to companies about establishing these roles, one of the first things we say is, do you have headcount available to hire them at the completion of the program if they're a good fit? And if the answer is no, that's probably not going to be a great fit. And I will tell you, I hate to say this, we've had companies offer, this is a little before Lucy, offer to have us, get them SkillBridge interns. They were going to pay us, and the job was to do like clean trash cans on the street for like $14 an hour. And we said, absolutely not. We will not do that. These need to be, meaningful roles that have the potential to lead for careers, that we are comfortable associating the HireMilitary brand with that company. And so if you talk to our team, you'll know that almost all of us are veterans, military spouses, or like Amber, veterans and military spouses. So we're there to support. I guess the next thing I'll go into real quick is kind of like a once around the world about what I've been up to the last couple of weeks. If people aren't paying attention, I had to actually go and write this down. But for the Air Force community, I will say that 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, we spent the week in Salt Lake City at the Logistics Officer of America annual symposium. And I've been to other service events, and don't hate me, Army. I'm an Army Sergeant Major, but the Air Force and LOA blew away any other event I've been to in engagement, in people, in fun factor, in speakers. I mean, we had, Joanne Bass was there. They had, the Chief of Staff of the Air Force. They had a whole bunch of 4-stars. I mean, and 2,000 airmen going through classes and networking. And so John David Duvall and the team did a great job. I was excited to be there. last week, I was at the Army War College, which was exciting. I got to talk to a bunch of nominative sergeants majors. So sergeants majors are working at the general officer level, the faculty, and also speaking to a group of colonels that are at the War College. I also taught in the last week both the Navy General Officer Transition Course and the Air Force General Officer Transition Course. So it's exciting to spend a couple hours with them, kind of getting them on the right track with LinkedIn and helping them set the example. Then also on, oh my gosh, was it Tuesday night, Lucy? I did an Ask Mike.
It was Tuesday night, yeah.
So people don't think it's just talking to the generals and the admirals. I spent 2 hours taking your hardest questions with the USO on Tuesday night. And then tomorrow, I have the new Navy and Marine Corps 1-stars. So we're teaching them how to start build their network years before they get out. So I'm super excited to stay engaged with this community. The last part I'll say is what most of you are looking for. On April 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern time is my next Mastering LinkedIn. So 2 hours, once around the world, let's get you to become operating at the real professional level on LinkedIn and really build out your network, your reputation outside of the military, and create opportunity for yourself. I am out of breath on that. I know it's hard to say it all, but I guess the other thing I'll say is, like, Lucy and Amber, what do you guys have going on?
Oh my gosh, what don't we have going on? We have got jobs coming out of our ears. Currently on our careers page, we've got 112 various different vacancies across the US and including remote. But we wanted to share some of the newer ones with you. We talked about the healthcare industry. We talked about St. Louis. So I'm gonna hand over to Amber because she and I both know I have a tendency to talk way too much. I like the sound of my English voice. And she's going to talk through a couple of the new ones in healthcare.
Yes, absolutely. We are pretty excited about this because I know so many people have asked for healthcare positions. And there was a point where we said, oh, we don't have that right now, but we have it now. And that's very, very exciting for us. So this is a company that is in St. Louis. There's 3 positions that I'll be mentioning today. And the very first one, the job title is called a Certified Dispute Resolutions Analyst. Again, 100% remote position. In this role, you'll be reviewing some claims records for the billing and processing portion of their company. They do want 5 years of healthcare as well as some experience with medical claims, and they would prefer some CPC or equivalent experience. So that's a Certified Dispute Resolution Analyst with a fantastic company, Lucy, out of St. Louis.
You want to do the next one?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I'll jump right in and I'll tell you the clinical and coding coordinator, 100% remote position. Also super exciting for our spouses. When we talked to them, they were very eager to welcome the spouse community. So that made us happy. But in this position, you'll serve as a liaison and really a subject matter expert for that matter to manage all tasks related to the medical processing claims from their perspective. 100% remote. They do require an LPN or an RN as well as a coding certificate for that position. I have one more to talk about too that's really exciting. It's a dispute nurse reviewer. Again, this is a remote position. The LPN and RN is required. Okay. In this role, you'll be reviewing and responding to the appeals claims for our clients. So that's 3 really, really exciting positions. Again, the first one is the dispute resolution analysts, multiple positions. The second one is the clinical and coding coordinator. And then finally, we have the dispute nurse reviewer.
Hey, I have a question. Do nurses require a licensure to move between states?
They tend to, but these roles don't require that.
That's what I was hopeful for, which is why I got super excited for military spouses.
Yes.
You know, if you go state to state, you may have to go through a whole entire new licensure process. We know reciprocity is kind of a myth in a lot of ways. And so if they can work remotely, this would be amazing.
And, you know, Mike, the fun fact about this client is we started having a conversation with them because they just wanted to pick our brains about how they could increase their DEI without using us themselves. They wanted to set up a VRG. They wanted to know what we did, how we did it. They wanted us to share best practice. And off the back of the first meeting that we had with them, they said to us, so how do we get this thing going? And I had to clarify and go, do you mean on your own or do you mean with HireMilitary? And they were like, no, with HireMilitary, everything you said is exactly what we're looking for. Let's partner with you and let's do that. Because we had talked through the transitioning service member. We had talked through the challenges of the military spouse. And, you know, they know that we understand our population and our population is exactly who they are looking for, but they just didn't know how to get to them themselves. Right. So that is so exciting. And that's a true partnership. Like that really is going to be a great springboard for us to move forward with them. But before I move on to the roles that I have, I wanted to say, I've seen so many people say they're looking for business development, program manager, IT positions. We're not specifically talking about those today here with Mike, but we have a whole bunch of those on our careers page. So I know that Matt Hart is going through the comments, as is Kate Wood, dropping some links. So one of those will drop the link to our overall careers page. So you can take a look at what we have in those industries and in those realms. And if you have any direct questions at all, please drop them in the comments here or send a direct message to me or Amber and we will get back to you and let you know the information that you're looking for. But we have some opportunities here. This opportunity is with the same client that Amber was talking about, the same organization, and they are a healthcare company, but they are a collaborative tech-forward price, pay, and explain healthcare claims. They love the military population. This role is really, or these roles, because there's multiple opportunities, aimed at the lower, perhaps, you know, junior enlisted who is transitioning, the first, second term enlistment. And they are looking for production facility specialists. So, you know, your operators, your machine operator, your print operator, your assembler. They're looking just for a high school diploma. They are looking at 1 to 3 years worth of production experience, but they will look at your military career if you don't have that. And what I love also about this company is they came to us, first of all, with a pay rate. And we were like, you know what? No, we're not working with you at this because this isn't what we, you know, this doesn't work towards our meaningful employment agenda. And we said, look, this is what we feel these roles are worth. This is the value for our population. And they came back and said, okay, we can do that. And I just love that approach, that the ability to have that candid conversation. And it goes back to what I said before about being a great relationship. You know, they listened to us and they took our feedback on board because they want to work with transitioning service members and vets. With this one also, there is a sign-on bonus of $1,000. So if you are interested, take a look at the link below.
And can I have a question, Lucy?
Yeah, of course.
What does a production facility specialist kind of do? I mean, they're running equipment, basically, right? It's an entry-level position, but there's room for growth, especially for someone that maybe has been in a few years and was like a team leader or, you know, an E4 with some leadership experience. Like, there's room to grow pretty quick, right?
Exactly that. E4, E5, possibly E3, could go to E6, but this company loves to promote from within. So it's kind of that foot in the door position. You get in, you do your first 6 months, you show them your leadership capabilities from the military, your aptitude, your commitment, how you approach work. And they love to, like, they have a career trajectory that they set people up with, and they want to fast track you through that. So yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. And I think that's important to let people know there's no time in service, time and grade requirement for promotion in the private sector. Right? No. If you are a high performer, they will promote you because otherwise they know you will leave because somebody else will. So, you know, this is a great way to get your foot in the door in an organization that it appears not only talks the talk, they actually walk the walk. If they're willing to increase compensation to reach our community and to make it a meaningful career, then that's a great start point.
And their plant managers and their facility managers all have been promoted from within. Like, they do come to and go externally to recruit and to hire, but they prioritize their internal colleagues and co-workers. Yeah.
Perfect.
And then the last one I have to share with you today is working with, this is, I feel like we're very St. Louis today, but, you know, specifically we wanted to bring a Midwest geographical specialty to you, because we're always, Texas or the Northeast or Florida. This is with a global supplier of electronic components. This is a senior solutions designer for fire and security. So they are looking for somebody to work in conjunction with the sales team to provide consultation, system design solution, estimating, and scope of work system design for fire alarm and security systems. And they really want a veteran, like really, really want a veteran. So if, the job link will be placed by Matt in the comments, take a look. If you have got the skill set, or if you've got the majority of the skill set, please do apply. And I think that's important to note as well. The way that we work, which is very different to an external organization or staffing agency, is if you apply for a role and we take a look at your resume and we're like, ooh, not 100% sure that you've got what is needed for our client, we will still reach out to you and we will have that screening conversation with you, because we know that perhaps you haven't had the support or the guidance to write a fully competitive resume to really create the best application on your behalf. So we will have that conversation, and then based on that conversation, we will give you all of the tools that you need, including links to external organizations, to write and draft the best application that you can do. So, we are hugely supportive in every which way that we can be when it comes to finding and supporting you getting a job.
No, that's fantastic. I think I want to add a couple other quick tips to that.
Yep.
So one of the things I'll say is, when you get and start your job search, what words do you type in, right? What words do you type in Monster, Indeed, LinkedIn when you start looking for jobs? Are they the same words, and are they a specific job? And if the answer is no, that means you're not quite sure what you want to do next. And so what I would advise a lot of people is to join talent networks, drop whatever resume you have into there, indicate your interest. And that way I know our recruiters, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lucy, but when you get a requisition, the first place you look is people in our talent network, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So the first search is, who do we have in the thousands that have registered that might meet this requirement? And you guys can reach out to them and, hey, maybe it's not the right fit for you. Maybe it's not the job you want, but maybe you know someone that does.
Yeah.
Or that would be, and you could refer that to a recruiter. So I think that's important about our community, is to do that. The next thing is to make sure you also do that for SkillBridge, right? So, make sure you indicate, join HireMilitary interns early so that you get into the intern process and you can get a lot of these different opportunities that come in. And really, a few minutes to upload resumes, get you into the talent network and create opportunity, not just now, 6 months or a year from now. Because even though you may have found a great opportunity with a company on your own that you're excited about, what's to say that Lucy, Amber, Brandy, Matt, Kadeen, Kate reaches out 6-8 months from now and says, hey, we've got this client that's got this incredible role that we think would be a great fit for you. And maybe it's something that's a lot more exciting, right?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure people stay in the game, right? That they understand that, when we change jobs, it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's a massive promotion. It's a better work quality of living. Sometimes it's a better company for them.
Yeah.
Right. So I think I went 4 minutes over. I got on my little soapbox right there. Any last words, advice, Lucy and Amber?
Go on, Amber. Any last bits from you?
To join our talent pipeline. With that, I think that Matt already dropped the link in the chat, but we would be delighted to see resumes and be able to reach out to you as we get and post positions, so we can reach out to you first.
And for me, I saw that Rick made a comment about, are there companies out there that train you if you don't have the experience and really revere and understand what the military gives to a candidate in terms of looking for a role in the civilian sector? Absolutely. And those are the clients that we are working with. When we have the conversation about their civilian job description, the first thing that we ask is, what's your deal breaker here? What can we take away? What kind of candidate can we present to you? Are you looking for a culture fit, or are you looking for a skill set fit? And I'd say probably 7 or 8 times out of 10, they are looking for the culture fit. So we can erase all of those expectations and we can find you and place you there. But that's where SkillBridge really comes into its own as well. If you have the ability to take part in a SkillBridge internship opportunity, you are going to be able to transition your career into something completely different.
I love it. I guess my final parting shot would be a lot of people are going to ask questions, but if you look at a job and you feel like you meet the majority of the requirements or that you would be a great fit for that job, my advice for people would be to go ahead and apply.
Yeah.
And then reach out to the recruiter to indicate your interest so they can go right into the system and look at it that way, not to do it the other way around where there's the potential for getting lost. Now, this advice differs from when you're when you're looking at a company with corporate recruiters that are posting jobs, you're going to ask for a referral, right? You want to ask for the referral before you apply. But for companies like ours, you probably want to apply before you go and reach out to the recruiter. Is that fair, Lucy? Is that fair, Amber?
Yes, please. We get so many people that tell us they like they send us a DM and say, hey, I'm really interested in this job. And my initial reaction, honestly, because we probably get about 10 or 15 messages like that a day is, okay, so what are you going to do about it? So we write back and say, please apply and we will take a look at your resume and we will get back to you. If you have a direct and specific question, absolutely send it to us because we love answering those. But do apply and then give us the heads up by DM so that we can take a look at your application and we can start a conversation with you.
Mm-hmm. And I think the other part is people understanding that the applicant tracking system doesn't eat anything.
No, it doesn't.
If you apply, your resume goes in there. And our recruiters can look through all of them. It just makes it easier for them to align it directly to the skill position, look at the resume, communicate, and decide the way to process that candidate. So, hey, I think that's it. I'm a little over. I don't think I've ever done one before 30 minutes before. So we're actually on a roll. But thank you, everybody. What I'll say is look for these every Thursday. If I'm traveling, I can't do it. I'm going to let Lucy pirate my account. Maybe I'll get her one of those little ball things that she'll put on.
Yeah.
Or Ganesh can get you that tech to make it look like you're not, you got to get facial hair and all that other stuff. But thank you, everybody. Thank you for being in our community. Thank you for supporting us.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.